to the University of Denver and to the 2015 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony. Please join me in thanking the University. Please join me in thanking the University of Denver's Lamont Wind Ensemble and its director, Joseph Martin, for the musical prelude they have so beautifully provided for today's celebration. The ceremony begins with the academic procession. I invite you to take your seats, please, as the degree candidates, the university faculty, and the platform party prepare to enter the arena. Candidates for the baccalaureate degrees will be entering the arena simultaneously from the southeast, the northeast, the northwest, and the west doors. They will be filling spaces reserved for them from the front and the rear of the seating areas simultaneously. Leading off the procession, entering from the southeast corner of the arena to my left, are candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degrees. They are led by Miss Tiffany Wilk, recipient of the Outstanding Senior Award. Entering from the northeast corner of the arena to my right are candidates for the bachelor's degrees from the Daniels College of Business. They are led by Mr. Samuel Gary, recipient of the Distinguished Senior Award. The candidates for the business degrees include those who are to receive the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration degree and the Bachelor of Science in Accounting degree. Entering from the northwest rear corner of the arena to my right, from the rear, are additional candidates for degrees from the Daniels College of Business, followed by candidates from the Colorado Women's College, the University College, and candidates for the business degrees, including the Bachelor of Arts in Business degree and the Bachelor of Business Administration degree. Entering from the west, center rear of the arena, are candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, the Bachelor of Music degree, the Bachelor of Science degrees, including the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, the Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, the Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, and the Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering. Now entering from the rear center of the arena are distinguished alumni of the class of 1965 who join us this weekend as part of the celebration of their golden reunion. Please join me in welcoming the 50th year class back to campus and to today's commencement ceremony. Class of 1965. Now entering the arena through the rear center door are esteemed members of the faculty of the university. Following the faculty, also entering from the rear center of the arena, is the Associate Dean of the Colorado Women's College, Arthur Jones, who is President of the Faculty Senate and who will be serving as Honorary Grand Marshal and Master of Ceremonies for today's commencement ceremony. Carrying the ceremonial mace of the university, Dr. Jones leads the platform party. The platform party includes the soloist, the invocator, the Alumni Association representative, the deans of the colleges and schools, the vice chancellors, the provost, members of the board of trustees, the honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker, and the chancellor of the university, Dr. Rebecca S. Chop. Good morning. Welcome to the University of Denver's 2015 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony, commemorating the completion of the university's 151st academic year. I am Doug Scrivener, Chair of the Board of Trustees. I join with my fellow trustees in congratulating the candidates who will receive their degrees at this morning's ceremony. We are all proud of their work and achievement. I now call this commencement to order and am pleased to present to you Dr. Art Jones, President of the Faculty Senate, who will act as Master of Ceremonies. Dr. Jones.
Good morning. The commencement ceremony of the class of 2015 will open with the national anthem, led by Michael Hewitt from the Lamont School of Music. We request that the audience please remain standing for the invocation, which will be offered by the Reverend Gary Brower, our university chaplain. Following the invocation, the Chancellor of the University, Dr. Rebecca Chopp, will speak. Please, at this point, make sure that all of your cell phones are tuned to silent. And we asked also that all of you please remain in the ceremony until the close of the ceremony, out of respect for each graduate.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join with me in prayer. Holy One, called by many names, we are gathered here this morning to mark and celebrate fabulous accomplishments. We bid you be with us all today. Holy Wisdom, you have given the gifts of grace and skill in teaching to professors, mentors, and colleagues. Thank you for all that they have given to those who will receive their diplomas this day. Compassionate One, you have provided these students with communities of support and care throughout their educational journeys. For families of origin to families of choice, for the friends of playgrounds to the friends made in classrooms and residence halls, we are grateful. Divine Servant, administration and behind-the-scenes work are gifts from you, gifts we often overlook. for the trustees, administrators, and staff who guide this university, who raise funds, who ensure that requirements are met, grades recorded, and the internet works, for advisors and counselors who have helped choose classes and identify potential employers, for the doctors, nurses, and psychologists who tend to our well-being, for the housekeepers and groundskeepers who labor to provide such a wonderful atmosphere for learning, thank you. Lover of justice, through the education these students have received at the University of Denver, they have been equipped to make a difference in the world in which they live. Amidst news of earthquakes, tornadoes, and school shootings, ethnic and religious conflict, collapsing economies and regimes, and political systems where cynicism and sarcasm triumph over substance, imbue these graduates with a sense of hope for the future, a passion to right wrongs, and the will to bring those intentions to fruition. Overcomer of obstacles, we bid your special presence in the hearts of these graduates. They have excelled in the classroom. They have been champions in sports. They have joyfully embraced the completion of the Anderson Academic Commons. They have celebrated the school's sesquicentennial. They have welcomed a new chancellor. And when faced with great challenges, losses, and disappointments, they have prevailed. They have succeeded. Let them now, in the midst of boisterous celebration, hear your clear, encouraging voice saying, "Well done, there's more to come." May they, looking back at their years at DU, sense your call forward into a lifetime full of adventure and purpose, and know that you and we will be cheering them on. Dancing Lord, be our partner as we celebrate with joy today. Amen.
You may be seated. Class of 2015. You did it! Congratulations! Give yourself a hand. Let us begin in a moment of gratitude for the support each of you have experienced on this incredible journey. Let's first join together and thank the faculty who has taught you, who introduced you to the theory and practice of your chosen fields, and who became your mentors and friends. Thank you to the faculty. A moment of gratitude, too, for our staff, who have served, each in his or her own way, by keeping our campus clean and beautiful, supporting internships and providing career counseling, ensuring the smooth operation of our programs and schools. Thank you to the incredible DU staff. We remember also all the friends who have accompanied you on this journey. Part of the amazing experience of a DU education is that you make friends who will last your entire life. Finally, we thank our families, the families of those graduating today, spouses and parents, siblings, grandparents, partners, aunts and uncles, extended and blended families of all sizes and shapes. Families, this is your day too. You've sacrificed in many different ways in anticipation of this day, and you deserve to be very proud, not just of those sitting up front, but of you yourselves. Graduates, I want you to thank your family. I want you to rise and turn and give them a big round of applause. You may now be seated. It's now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Brie Akapo, an esteemed member of our university alumni community. In 2014, Mr. Akapo earned a Bachelor of Art in International Studies. He was a senior class senator in 2014, helped with the senior class gift, and served on the all-class reunion committee. He is currently working in marketing and communications at Arrow Electronics. Please welcome Mr. Akapo.
Good morning. First of all, graduates, I just want to wish you all, on behalf of everyone here, a big congratulations. This is one great achievement that you need to remember and always treasure in your life. Today, you join our DU alumni network that numbers nearly 135,000 pioneers who live and work in the Front Range across the country and around the world, and I am personally so honored to be here with you. During your time here as students, you have undoubtedly taken part in many University of Denver's traditions, such as May Days, my personal favorite Winter Carnival, or the classical hockey ticket campout. There is one tradition, though, that happens only at commencement, the pinning of new alumni with the university's official lapel pin. You hold a very special place in our history, and we are proud and honored to share in this tradition with you. Each of you should have an alumni lapel pin on your chair, and I ask that you rise. Rise. And turn to the person next to you and affix the pin to their gown. Any direction works. And if the platform party will join me, can we please give this, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Thank you, and please be seated, graduates. Wear these pins with pride as you venture out into the world. You might be surprised to learn that a fellow pioneer is sitting next to you on the flight, standing behind you in a line at the grocery store, or is a colleague whom you pass frequently in the hallway or at work. If you ever meet a fellow DU alumni who does not already have a lapel pin, and if you can, I encourage you to give your pin to him or her and contact the Office of Alumni Relations contact the Office of Alumni Relations. The University of Denver is here to keep you connected in the days, months, years, and decades after you receive your diploma. Whether you find yourself in Denver, Dallas, or Denmark, you are a pioneer for life, and there are so many ways to stay engaged with each other and with our university. We here are ecstatic to stay in touch with you and wish you all the best on all you will accomplish. So I'll leave you with this. Although individualism is one of the critical components of success, let us not forget that it is the sacrifice and the support of our friends, families, and ultimately community that has led us to where we are today. With that, congratulations, class of 2015. I am now honored to present to your student speaker, your very amazing, awesome student body president, Hayden Johnson.
Thank you, Bree. And good morning, pioneers. I am honored to be graduating with you all today, and I'm even more thankful for the opportunity to be your student speaker. All right, so here we are, graduation, everybody. Now, thanks. Now, I've always been taught to lead with gratitude, And while we've all worked very hard to get here, I think I speak for everyone in saying that I couldn't have done it without those people up there in the stands. So class 2015, please join me once again in thanking your friends, family, mentors, or whoever else helped you get to this moment. All right, now I love stories. And whether it was in Nelson Dining Hall my sophomore year or Pete's Cafe last weekend, there's just no better memories from college than sitting down and sharing some good stories with good friends. And the ones that I enjoyed the most are when a person's choice leads to an unintended consequence. Now, some of those closest to me might say that I'm better at listening to stories than actually telling any of my own, but that's all right, so I'm gonna give it a try anyways, so here goes. And my first story that I was planning to tell is one of my personal favorites from this year, but it's sort of long, so here's a short version. But basically, I've got this dog named Jessie. And she's my dad's dog and is this old and slow little English setter. And this dog and my roommate, Sam, have this really funny relationship. And they operate on very different wavelengths. And one day, they had a little incident. And Sam came running into our house, and bam, he stepped right on Jessie's tail. And of course, the dog bolted up and ran away to safety. And then she turned around and she eyed Sam with this icy look of revenge. And so be it, the next day, Jessie, she got even, in the only way that dogs can, by leaving, let's just say, a little present in Sam's favorite pair of shoes. So she showed him there was some big consequences for stepping on her tail. Now I like that story because it perfectly shows this idea of choices with unintended consequences. Choice, Sam run into the house, maybe not paying attention. An unintended consequence, well, I guess a ruined pair of shoes. I've found that choices often have these unintended consequences. And in many ways, one of those in my life is today, graduation. I truly believe we've all made a series of decisions that led us to this great consequence today. And I invite you to think about what your choices were that got you here. This could have been a chance decision to take this or that class that led you to discover your passion or find your career path. For me, that was ignoring all of the naysayers and sticking with being a history major. And I completed my senior thesis and met an advisor that inspired me to reach my academic potential. Or it could have been a choice 4 years ago to join this or that student organization, where you had great experiences and built important relationships that last a lifetime. My choice was to run for student government, which came with the consequence of incredible opportunities like speaking today, a fantastic vice president, Natalie Casey, and an inspiring mentor that all encouraged me to learn and grow as a leader and as a person. Or your choice could have had the greater unintended consequence of shaping the narrative of your life. And in my life, that came the summer before our sophomore year, on June 29th, 2012. And on that day, I got a phone call from my stepsister saying that my dad had passed away unexpectedly. So I caught the first plane I could down to Tulsa where he lived, and honestly, I felt like my life had been torn apart. I spent the better part of 2 months there, taking care of his estate, and at the end of August, I drove a U-Haul of his things through the night back to Denver. And on that drive, I remember turning over and over one important question, which was whether or not I'd return to classes that fall. My family said many times that taking some time off would be completely normal, and I appreciated their advice, but for some reason, I didn't take it. I decided to come back for my sophomore year, and that choice, that decision to return to DU, it made all the difference. It gave me real purpose in my life and positioned me in a community of much needed support and reassurance. And I owe that to you all. You and this community are my unintended consequences. I quickly learned that because of my choice to return to DU that fall, this community rose to support me, whether you knew it or not. The people, my peers, the students at this university encouraged me to push on and helped me through this difficult time, even when you all had no idea that you needed to. And there is incredible power and importance in a community like ours. Honestly, what more could you ask for? My choice to come back to DU has had the unexpected and largely unintended consequence of enabling me to proudly stand here today. The people at DU pushed me to be successful, and unknowingly gave me the strength that I needed to graduate. And for that, I am forever grateful. So I urge you, class of 2015, to not be nervous or afraid of those unintended consequences that come from what you choose to do or be after today. My experience tells me that the unexpected outcome is often what is most gratifying. I go forward after graduation with confidence because of the simple truth that no matter what your choices are, and no matter what unplanned results come from them, the people in this room, at this university, and in our community will always be in your corner. So thank you, pioneers, for being in my corner, for helping me to honor my choices and to be grateful for their consequences. I feel absolutely privileged and humbled to be here with you all today, and I can't wait to see what impactful choices you all make tomorrow. So congratulations and go Pioneers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hayden, for that wonderful speech. At commencement, it is customary for the university to confer honorary degrees upon persons who have attained eminence through their achievements. Chancellor Chopp and Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor Greg Kvistad will present the honorary degree.
It is my privilege and my delight to introduce a man who exquisitely embodies two qualities that characterize the class of 2015: passion and purpose. Michael Bennet, who represents Colorado in the United States Senate, has a passion for creating opportunity in business, in education, in public service, wherever there's room for a seed to sprout or an idea to blossom. Michael Bennet was appointed to the Senate in 2009 and elected to his seat in November 2010. At the time of his appointment, he was considered a newcomer to politics and an unconventional choice for the often staid, often gridlocked Senate. After all, he is a man committed to thinking independently, and most importantly, to getting things done. Getting things done. That's what he did as superintendent of the Denver Public Schools, where he led a bold and inclusive reform effort that improved student achievement, that helped turn around failing schools, and that put a stop to the seemingly endless cycle of annual budget cuts. A graduate of Wesleyan University and Yale Law School, Senator Bennet understands the role that education plays in empowering individuals to seize opportunity and in supporting our economic and cultural vitality. Before his time at the Denver Public Schools, Senator Bennet served as the chief of staff to Denver's mayor, the man who is now governor of our state, John Hickenlooper. In this high-pressure job, the senator helped to balance a budget imperiled by deficits. He also implemented innovative reforms that made city government more responsive to the needs and concerns of the average Denver resident. In all of these jobs, Senator Bennet has drawn on his extensive business experience. As managing director of the Anschutz Investment Company, he managed the successful restructuring of more than $3 billion in corporate debt. Just as important, he is credited with saving jobs and turning around failing companies. In the Senate today, he is known for his command of the issues, his insistence on accountability, and his willingness to work across the aisle to pass legislation. Just last month, And to cite just one example, he joined Colorado's other senator, Cory Gardner, to introduce the Native American Indian Education Act, which will help states fulfill a federal mandate to provide tuition-free college education for Native Americans. For all these reasons, and more, the university is very proud to award Senator Bennet an honorary University of Denver degree. Now therefore, by the virtue of authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Denver, I confer upon you, Michael Bennet, the degree of Doctor of Public Service, with all of the rights, powers, and privileges pertaining thereto. In token whereof, I will hand you your diploma and direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to your degree. Welcome to the class of 2015. And now it's my pleasure to present to you our commencement speaker, Senator Bennet, DU alum, class of 2015.
Classmates, thank you very much, Chancellor Chop, for those incredibly kind words and that wonderful introduction. Why don't we give her a round of applause for completing her first year as your Chancellor at DU. I can tell you that we are delighted as a state to have you here and look forward to the work we'll do together and the contribution DU will continue to make to Denver, but also the state of Colorado. I want to thank the Board of Trustees, proud parents and families, and of course the brilliant class, my classmates of 2015. I also want to say hi to my wife, Susan Daggett, who's here today, who runs the Rocky Mountain Land Use Institute at DU Law School, or at least she did run it until I gave this speech. Chancellor Chop, I have to confess that I considered this year writing a one-sentence graduation speech for this class. And that sentence was, how about our men's lacrosse team, 2015 national champions? Boom! Really, what more needs to be said? Not just about the team itself, but the character and commitment to excellence it represents and shares with so much of DU and today's graduates. Thought I'd give a one-sentence speech too, because I'm a little sensitive about my speech making anyway, because every time I ask one of my three daughters, they're now 15, 14, and 10, whether they want to come hear me give a talk, one of them always asks, how boring is it going to be? This relentless mocking has been going on for 6 years. And I like to take the girls with me to events in Colorado, in part because as they grow older, it's becoming harder and harder for me to get them on the phone when I'm in Washington. True story, last week, I called from my office phone at a time when I knew our 10-year-old daughter, Ann, would be at home. No answer. I called back on my cell phone. She answered. Ann, I asked, why didn't you pick up the house phone? The caller ID said Congress, Ann replied. Do you know anyone else in Congress who would be calling you? I asked. No, she said, but I thought I might be arrested. I'm still trying to understand how it is that this fifth grader at Bromwell Elementary has been listening to Rand Paul's floor speeches, and I despair at her guilty conscience. In any case, had I stuck to my one-sentence speech, we'd be done by now, and you'd have more time to do what you really want to do today, hang out with your friends and your family, and share this wonderful accomplishment. But I do have a couple of lessons to pass on that I've learned since my graduation, things I wish someone had told me when I was wearing my own cap and gown. There are many accomplished people here today to watch you graduate. Leaders in their fields and in their communities. Some of you call them parents. Many have succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. But notwithstanding all that success, I guarantee you most of us are thinking there is nothing we wouldn't trade to be sitting where you are right now. And that's not merely because you're graduating with a degree from DU, although I'll come to that in a moment. It is because you have the gift of time. With any luck, as individuals and as a generation, you have decades to write your own story, decades to make your life count. This graduation may mark the culmination of your college years, but really, it is the beginning of your emancipated life. But while you have this gift of time, it is not a lot of time. For perspective, those mountains to the west of us, including Mount Evans, named for the founder of DU, are formed of rocks that are at least 1.4 billion years old. If those mountains were one day old, your relative 22 years on this planet would have consumed about a millisecond of that day. Literally 300 times less than a blink of an eye. So in the scheme of things, it's not a ton of time. Depressing, I know. But it does mean that someday we will have forgotten even the Kardashians, unless someone names a mountain after them. But I'm not out to provoke some sort of existential crisis about the ephemeral nature of human existence. That's not the first lesson I hope to leave you with, quite the opposite. What I want to tell you is that the longer I've been around, the more I've noticed that human events move far more quickly than we generally imagine, and therefore, crucially, our opportunity to affect those events is greater than we generally suppose. Let me give you an example. It surprises me to tell you that I was born 50 years ago in 1964. The time has gone by very fast. When I was growing up, because my mom and her parents had survived the Holocaust in Poland, World War II was very present in my young life. World War I, on the other hand, seemed to me like ancient history concerning empires that no longer existed in modern times. But failing states in the Middle East, states whose borders were created at the end of World War I, and the rise of ISIS in the region between Baghdad and Damascus has made me realize that there is nothing ancient about that history. In fact, the day I was born, I was a mere 50 years away from the beginning of World War I. Much less than 2 lifetimes separate the creation of the modern map of the Middle East and the Arab Spring. This perspective matters when we think about the region, when we judge the likelihood of new states being able to overcome ancient tribal sectarian hatreds, and also what role, if any, the United States should play. My very strong sense is that our policymaking in the Middle East over the last 15 years has lacked this essential historical perspective, the sense of proportion that comes with an appreciation of history. My suggestion to you is not to be obsessed with the passage of time, but to be aware of it and highly conscious of what you do with it. This is not the moment, I suppose, although it is hard as a parent to refrain, not the moment to suggest a little less stalking of celebrities on Instagram, watching of Snapchat stories, or swiping left or right or left again on Tinder. Clearly, you've overcome those potential barriers to success, or you wouldn't be sitting here today. But in your emancipated life, you will have more choices to make, and when I think about my own life, I realize I've occupied jobs that have involved a considerable amount of conflict. Conflict arising from police shootings, conflict arising from school closings, from campaigns, and from divisions on the floor of the United States Senate. Conflict is an essential part of the human condition, and it is often essential, if you hope, as you should, to make important changes to unjust conditions that humans face. So you should not shy away from it. I can't say I regret any of the conflicts of principle in which I've been involved. But, and this is really my second message to you, I want to tell you that I don't cherish the memory of the conflicts I've seen that were ginned up, or merely partisan, or simply personal, whether I experienced them in the Denver schools or on the floor of the United States Senate. I don't think of those conflicts as highlights of my life. I remember them really as moments when somebody tried to diminish me, or even worse, much worse, moments when I tried to diminish someone else. That's the time that I want back. So by all means, please stand up for what you believe. Fight for it. But don't engage in conflict for conflict's sake. Embrace principle. Fight for sensible solutions. Attack bad ideas, but don't waste precious time attacking people who may also mean the best, or scaring people who are trying hard to understand what's right, or posturing when you really aren't certain what you deeply believe about an issue. There is enough reckless superficiality in this world and in our politics, and far more than enough cruelty. You won't always be generous and kind. We are all human, but you should try to be. Education, especially higher education, and particularly from an institution like DU, brings with it a responsibility to avoid these kinds of conflicts. It brings with it a responsibility to fight hard, but only when the stakes are high, and then only with facts and reason. This fleeting gift you have, this gift of time, makes understanding this all the more important to our world. One concluding thought. DU's vision is that it will be a great private university dedicated to the public good. As graduates, I hope you will consider some period of public service as something you give back to our country for the privilege of having attended this tremendous institution. And I hope you will fight to ensure that many more Americans who do not have that privilege today have a similar opportunity in the future. Class of 2015, you are graduating from a remarkable institution, in a remarkable state, in a remarkable country. We admire you. We expect much from you. Thank you in advance for your inspired, courageous, and creative leadership. Congratulations, graduates, class of 2015. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bennet. Before we begin the conferral of degrees, to respect all graduates as their names are announced, I ask that the audience please remain seated and refrain from applause until all degrees have been awarded. This courtesy will allow the other graduates, their families, and their friends to hear the name of each graduate as it is announced. And I also ask that everyone, graduates, families, and friends, please remain in the auditorium until the ceremony is complete, out of respect for each graduate.
I now call upon Dr. Greg Kivestat, Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor, to present the candidates for the baccalaureate degree.
Will the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees please rise? That's all of you. Chancellor Chop. I have the privilege of presenting to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees. These candidates have met all requirements of their respective programs and are entitled to receive their diplomas at this time.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Denver, and by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the baccalaureate degree and admit to you all the rights, powers, and privileges thereof. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Those graduates who have been awarded the baccalaureate degrees of their respective colleges and schools will now receive their diplomas. Graduates will enter the stage from the right and will be announced by Dr. Gregory Robbins of the Department of Religious Studies. Graduates, please proceed according to your marshal's directions, and after you have been awarded your diploma, please return to your place and be seated. Thank you.
Outstanding senior woman, Tiffany Ann Wilk. Monica Christine Aiea. Alexa Michelle Anderson. Cassandra Marie Ali. Genoa Rose Alexandra. Hannah Amy Anderson. Zachary O'Donnell Andres. Elise Kristen Bailey. Christopher Patrick Brandowski. Andrew J. Bauman. Rochelle Gita Barkley. Elena Margaret Milagra Barnes, cum laude. Rachel Marie Bass. Jessica Baude, magna cum laude. Sarah Nicole Baumgartner. Sulia Dahl Benham, cum laude. Peter Emil Bergsland. Jessica Ann Bernal. Uriel Barham. Mitchell M. Besse. Haley C. Best, cum laude. Kelsey Marie Betts. Jesse Alexandra Anderson. Jared Peter Bloomfeld, cum laude. Kristen Elizabeth Doughtenhen, cum laude. Christopher Hayden Bloomer, cum laude. Jacob Brennan Bockhorst. Alyssa M. Botswick, cum laude. Nathan Bracey. Myra Olivia Bradburn. Michael James Bradley, cum laude. Kyle Michael Brown. Jesse Bruce. Dana Catherine Gao. Samantha Nicole Correa. Darian Jude Brunetti. Ross McQuaid Edford. Stephen Joseph Budlong. Madeline Kathleen Burbach, cum laude. Alexander S. Burke. Quinn McVeigh Burkett. Crystal Camargo. Nicole Page Campbell, cum laude. Kathleen Denst Carrico, summa cum laude. Tara Ann Condren. Amanda Helen Kime. Cameron R. Griffin. Devin Kathleen Hogan. Mackenzie Beth Felgate Boone, cum laude. Chelsea Danielle Cook. Rachel Catherine Dillon. Sarah Grace Fisher. Catherine E. Acker. Rachel E. Parks. Brittany Teresa McCoy. Christopher Anjin Chong, cum laude. Alyssa Mary Chessis, cum laude. Shalina Hauche. Talon Joanna Clancy. Kayla Nicole Coburn, magna cum laude. Baron Gordon Collier. Anika Michelle Cook. Christina Ann Cook. Heather Caroline Cook, cum laude. Kesley Rochelle Cooper, cum laude. Catherine C. Corlett. Tyler James Crichton. Jose Juan Cruz. Jacqueline Nicole Curry. Andrew James Daniel. Sawyer Griffin Dargon. Krista Nicole Davis. Zachary DeBard. Shanley Maureen DeFrancia. Brianna M. Demet. Shui Deng. Michaela Marie Diamond, cum laude. Alexandra K. Dienstbier. Nicolette Elizabeth Davies. Monica Browse Dirks. Emily Ann Dombrowski. Paige Claudette Dvorak, magna cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Dukowski. Benjamin Wesley Dreeth. Catherine Chandler Dubois, cum laude. Jordan Alexandra East. Sarah Joyce Eberling. Riley Ann Elliott, magna cum laude. Daniel Cooper Epstein. Courtney Janae Dunson. Lauren Ann Belcher. Malia Lanice Lewis. Emily Margaret Ettinger. Alyssa Megan Evans. Preston Wesley Evans. Connor S. Everson. Alicia Nicole Fanucci. Dylan Xavier Faust, cum laude. Neil Spitzer Feldman, magna cum laude. Nicholas Andrew Fink. William Lee Fry. Monica Grijalva Luis. Mario Andrew Fierro. Alexander Quinton Ray. Logan Pryor Nowick. Haley Danielle Slaughter. Kayleen Harris Graziger. Carolyn L. LeBeau. Taylor Ray Robertson. Alexis May McVean. Madeline Isabel Birch. Ellen Rose Logue. Bailey Louise Zander. Benjamin L. Faustine. Michael John Ferrero. Nicholas William Esposito, cum laude. Andrea Joy Frischberg. Amy Elizabeth Fredrickson, magna cum laude. Benjamin Matthew First. Amanda Michelle Fiola. Anna Catherine Gowden, summa cum laude. Abby Delia Garcia. Trevor Jonathan Gilbert Mays. Crystal Giles, magna cum laude. Xingyi Guo. Sion Ioannis Goitom. Anna Elizabeth Gruber. Mia Deborah Getz. Mary Grace Sachs. Noel Christian Punison. Nicole Alexander Krzyzewski. Aaliyah K. Hanna. Carissa Shaona Land. Rebecca Siefkin Gordon, cum laude. Sasha Sarah Goldblatt. Adrian A. Gwozdecki, magna cum laude. Joey Ha. Jeho Han. Gabrielle Nasia Hammer. Adam Michael Hammerman. Austin William Hafferstein Holmes. Ya-Chen Han. Samantha Joy Harder. Lydia Ashworth Harlan. Lauren Elizabeth Poor. Justine Kimberly Henderson. Morgan Nicole Howell Singleton. Riley Lynn Johnston. Ryan Parker Wells. Alexandra Cortez, magna cum laude. Jill Ann Hamilton, magna cum laude. Max Aaron Spiro, summa cum laude. Erin Elizabeth Orchard. Matthew J. Jarvis. Hannah Delarme Eckert, cum laude. Allison O. Boyd. Hayden Sherwood Johnson, cum laude. Scott Thomas Rowland. Leah R. Gorlewski, magna cum laude. Colin Michael Olson. Maria Christine Estenson. William Franklin Wallace V, cum laude. Emily A. Green. Ariel Paget, Kapoloff. Arthur Edward Heaton. Irazu Hernandez. Junlin Hay. Allison Nicole Height, magna cum laude. Joanna D. Hendricks. Katharina Hemingway. Alexander Joseph Hess. Robin Heckelman Harris. Ashley Sally Hill, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Hirsch. Michael Dennis Hovell. Dylan Patrick Hyman. Lauren Marie Joseph Pasitz. Michael Keys Hughes. Jessica G. Wright, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Hutton. Alyssa Suzanne Irby. Lauren Elizabeth Eisenhower. Alexandra Claire Jacobson. Kirsten M. Yeager. Jenna M. Johnson. Emma Darcy Jones. Sophie Diana Jones, cum laude. Alexander Nicholas Johnson. Sarah Louise Ford. Allison Rose Cairns. Alana Leah Kapinski. June Gaylord Tabachnik. Rachel Shea Kaplan. Ilana Tiran Kaufman, cum laude. Shannon Ashley Keating. Hannah Amy Keidel. Melanie Rose Kessner, magna cum laude. Jacob L. Castor. Bailey Christine Karst. Ty Carrington Loney. Kristen Ann Kimmock. Michael John Kimmock. Danielle Lynn Lacey. Kristen Lee O'Connell, magna cum laude. Ivor Wilson Longgroff. Konstantinos Kordistos. Emily Krebs, summa cum laude. James Atwood Knight Jr. Anna Sophia Labozan, cum laude. Bridget Ainsley Kiley. Keegan Harcourt Kinsley. Andrew John Quist, cum laude. Alexandra Pavlovna Henry. Adam Lujan, magna cum laude. Aaron Klostermeyer. Adrian Hojing Kim. Susanna Yejin Park. Daniel Lee Kim. Christopher Holden Lewis, cum laude. Regina Green Lamonte. Molly Catherine Bissance. Brenna Maureen Lynch. Emily Christine Kyle, magna cum laude. Sarah Mary Moritz. Janelle Michelle Lowe. Danielle Jane Park. Bihu Lee. Shin Lee. Jushin Lee. Kate Nicole Linhart. Ming Liu. Michael Katz Middleburg. Pierce Randall Olson. Michael Andrew Borge. Oliver McCracken. Benjamin Dale Messereau. Amanda Margaret Lopez. August Russell Comstock. Jordan Sky McDougall. Shane Jensen Black. Kathleen Campbell Lockhart, cum laude. Jeffrey Shea Lurie. David Lawrence Lunde, magna cum laude. Katie Lynn Vacare, summa cum laude. Mary Long. Dewey Madeira. Acel Ramirez. Cody Cameron Main. Abigail Elizabeth Magnus. Richard Jacob Mays. Sophia Mayfeng Mon. Catherine Lee Merrick, cum laude. Jennifer Rebecca Martins. Ali A. Martin, cum laude. Shauna Ann Matthews. Julia Beatriz Marmaros. John Max Marno, cum laude. Drew DeLon Matthews. Julia Catherine Mason. Tanner Reed Mastow, summa cum laude. Elise Alexandra Matson. Jeffrey Lauren May. Caitlin Teresa Glamory, cum laude. Liana Claire McIsaac. Noelle Faith McKillop, magna cum laude. Olivia Marie Malikian. Nicholas Broward McCulloch. Larkin McCormick. Jamie Michelle McAllister. Alexander Kalen Medlock. Caitlin Elizabeth Mendenhall, cum laude. Emily Jane Miller. Paul Christian Miller. Andrea Maria Mendoza. Elizabeth Montero. Haley Lynn Mortensen, magna cum laude. Maximilian Foster Munoz. Jiyoung Nam, cum laude. Carly Ann Moore. Gaia Elizabeth Altschuler. Jennifer A. Newman. Alexis Cho Newton. Tong V. Nguyen, summa cum laude. Wet Win. Dao Win. Robin J. Negro. Eric Gustav Nord, summa cum laude. Obayed Dula Obayed. Jailu Ni. Kevin Maxwell O'Connell. Leah Alicia O'Green. Ruth K. Orr. Angela Dale Ott. Giovanna Sofia Peccolo, magna cum laude. Isabella Corrine Pucilo, cum laude. Luke Austin Ray Osborne. Abby Elizabeth Overland. David Hipólito Oviado Mendoza. Natalie Rose Emiko Palmer. Lindsay Marie Peterson, cum laude. Ian Shaw Parker. Brendan Charles Parks. Ryan Pissanate. Ayla Marie Peacock. Lauren Rose Montgomery. Anne Marie Petanato. Caitlin Ann Plant. Amanda Eileen Prince. Colin Edmund Nava. Sean D. Duncan. William James Stewart Egan. Nicole Eldridge. Hannah Adriana Roberts. Kirby Ann Connell. Zoe Lynn Meyer. Elizabeth Marie Pinkerton, summa cum laude. John Warner Pitzenbarger. Parker Lee Quackenbush. Henry Winfred Nevins. Jacqueline Margot Cantor. Ivana Marcel Rodatus. Daniel Sinclair Reese. Caitlin Jane Reeser, cum laude. Fatima Zara Razai, cum laude. Jamie L. Richardson, summa cum laude. Dustin James Poole. Emily Dean Richard. Annalie Paula Ring, cum laude. Aaron Alexander Ricks, cum laude. Kaylee Ann Rickert. Alexis Allen Robbins. Cicely Marie Galm, summa cum laude. Adeline Maya Mann. Anthony Joseph Ryan. Hannah Elizabeth Young. Taylor Ray Robbins. Ashley Rhodes. Nicole Francis Roberts, cum laude. Brenda Lee Roan, magna cum laude. Megan E. Rowe. Darian E. Rose. Sarah Michelle Rubel. Courtney R. Rush, magna cum laude. Sky Savage, magna cum laude. Gemma Yobe, cum laude. Ashley Elizabeth Ryman. Abigail Starbuck Purcell. Alexandra Noel Goujon. Hans Richard Schaller. Rebecca Schenk. Morgan Lisa Schmel, summa cum laude. Charles R. Schmidt, summa cum laude. Rochelle Marie Scroggins. Noyu Lee. Leah Corinne Scott. Jonathan Dwight Seals. Sean Daniel Siegel. Megan Sarah Sayre. John Rutherford Seidel III. Corrine Sharon. Sophia Buchholz Silver. Shane Robert Simpkins. Callie Caitlin Smith, magna cum laude. Sopani Tai Son. Tracy T. Son. Stephen Barris Stannis. Haley Michelle Stevenson, cum laude. Victoria Marie Stevenson, cum laude. Thomas James Story. Michael Angel Street. Caitlin Brooke Sullivan. Jasmine Lee Simpruch. Thomas Wells Tarler, cum laude. Alexis Raylyn Taylor. Zoe Bridget Tobin, magna cum laude. Emily Jean Thomas, magna cum laude. Cody James Thompson. Granger Tripp, cum laude. Alexandria Elizabeth Strangare, cum laude. Madeline Taracha Jones. Sing Zhang. William James Trout, cum laude. Theodore Michael Sterglowski. Samantha Jade Valliere. Marley Eleanor Edelman de Rue van Aldervelt. Caitlin Van Kampen Hines. Carolyn L. Vassay. Jacqueline Rose Villa. Emily Kuderer-Vasinovich. Janae Danielle Wright. Abigail R. Whitten. Nicole M. Walker. Brianna Elizabeth Wilderding. Blake Lowell Weiser. Shelby N. Wesley. Emily Joan Wheeler, summa cum laude. Thanks. Molly Elizabeth Willard. Nathaniel A. Whiteside. Amanda Reed Williams. Okay. Brady Weinstein. Clayton Tremaine Wheeler. Yuji Wang. Yue Xu. Kieran Elizabeth Wirtz. Catherine Elizabeth Wyman. Xingyu Yang. Shinan Xu, magna cum laude. Christian Zuzutia. Virginia Renee Zegler, cum laude. Kate Ann Zimmerman. Alexander R. Zorn. Jie Zhang. Yingzheng Shi. Jason Alexander Zucker. Shengyu Zhang. Tian Zheng. Shuyang Zhang. Yi Zhang. Annette Shell Zaruba. Wesley Adam Yarbrough. Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees, Samantha Malia Hunt. Heather Lee Ann Cagle, cum laude. Maeve Rove Leslie. Scott Luteniger. Brian Nichols Napier. Julianne Therese Saratek, cum laude. Matthew Swisher. Nicholas Theodore Franciscus von Dressel. Bachelor of Music degrees, Benjamin Robert Brandon. Nathan P. Crowder. Sonora Madeline Dolce. Samuel James Besson, magna cum laude. Jack Taylor Dunleavy, magna cum laude. Christopher James Lee Garcia. Christopher Stephen Harris. Katie E. O'Toole, magna cum laude. Ethan Connor Lawrence, magna cum laude. Wilson John Llewellyn, cum laude. Teresa Kesser. Shira Ilana Simon. Griffin Hogan Tracy. Virginia Rose Limbard, magna cum laude. Noelle Lorraine Limbard, magna cum laude. Nicholas Bion Saremi. Michael Christopher Hewitt. Brian Casey Getzinger, magna cum laude. Sarah Diane Dubetz, summa cum laude. Nellie Quinn, magna cum laude. Hunter S. Roberts. Katerina Eleni Therianos. Alexander Simpson Wenzel. The Bachelor of Science degrees, Molly Nicole Abromaitis. Madeline Vanessa Alvarado. Scott Graham Andre, cum laude. Abby Miriam Alward. Chase D. Bennington. Harry M. Crane, magna cum laude. Cameron Stewart Bentley. Mackenzie Rose Buckner. Taylor Rose Billadu. Caleb Alexander Byers. Elizabeth Ann Bonner. Vincenzo James Borgia. Matthew Christopher Brenner. Sarah Kathleen Chun. Mackenzie Caitlin Boley. Brandy J. Burchett. Andrew Harold Bustrak. Angela Marie Condoleri. Shelby Elise Carpenter. Jasmine Ray Carter, cum laude. Nicholas M. Corcoran. Grace Marie Connor. Michael James Disbrow. Yu Che. Nakia Adamatius. Rebecca Page Conrad, cum laude. Daniel Robert Franklin Edelson. Chloe Ann Finke. Clayton Thomas Ford. Holly A. Fortick. Melanie Ann Glavick. Frederic Guiger. Alexander Stephen George. Sarah Nicole Gosnell. Matthew John Avery. Sarah Elizabeth Linza Moscati. Hannah Elizabeth Gunther. Abhinav Gupta, cum laude. Joyce Kaylin Gallegos, magna cum laude. Chelsea Claire Warren, cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Berger. Alec Michael Feuerbach, summa cum laude. Cody Hilton Hansen, cum laude. Tyler Andrew Lacosta, Houston. Nicholas Peden Curry. Yitong Jing. Benjamin R. Massey. Allison Rose Hyatt. Daniel James Lauer III. Tasi Ann Pakovich. Gabriella Allegra Lee, cum laude. Kelly Elizabeth Murphy Logue. Catherine Siobhan Manning. Rochelle Christine Hine, cum laude. Adele Asanova Gafova. Catherine Diane Miller. Lee Alexandra Matson. Caitlin Ashley Sullivan. Dylan Ryan Lynch, cum laude. Christy Ann McGee. Danielle Alyssa Kirelik, cum laude. Nicole Burama. Dorman Daniel Lemasters. Wendy Aviva Lowe. Bailey Alexander Loving. Megan Mader. Kayla Riz Malios. Daniel Potter Maddox. Nadira Matlin. Skylar Dale Mayer. Andrew Daniel Bruni. D'Eldon Mohammed. Nina Marie McGee. Amber Bush. Mohammed Miraj Mizra. Allison M. Miller, cum laude. Catherine Summer Flynn. Susan Goreshe Meskill. Keelia Aaron Otten. Samantha L. Molnar, magna cum laude. David Anthony Miller. Austin Patrick Murray. Michael Alexander Nagy. Rawa Nasatet. Justin Marshall Norris. David Y. Z. Osofsky. Donna Petko. Kaylee Ann Perkins. Michael William Ernest Podshady. Lauren Claire Poitvin. Madeline Campbell Wiltgen. Jessica L. Randall. John Ryan Sparts. Margaret A. Roth. Robert Lee Sutherland. Claire Marie Saba. Chelsea Ann Thielman. Elise Kiyomi Saki Hart. Alex Taylor Stein. Esther Yoselin Tusios. Darby Ellen Vernon. Anna Christina Sorensen. Riley Kevin Whitman. Naomi Kathleen Wallace, cum laude. Samantha E. Raymond. Samantha Allison Connie. Maria Sierra Habritzi. Wafik George Sutton, magna cum laude. Casey Lynn Van Buskirk. Brigitte Breon McNally, cum laude. Zachary A. Wilkinson. Ian Andrew Wyman. Awi Yu. Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Humberto David Escobedo. Super College Shanika Achi de Silva, cum laude. Tingzi Liu. Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, Connor Guy Hopkins. Tyler Lewis Maydew, magna cum laude. Wyatt David Stanland. Jesus Irvin Vilcas Balban. Vochuan Tron. Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Alicia Irene Alumia. Zachary Robert Ewers. Matthew Pennington Clement. Gregory Scott Guggenheim. Robert William Lewis. Lucas William Skelly. Paul James McNaughton. Joseph G. Wolpert. Greta Lynn Zimmerman, cum laude. Ali Erickson. Nicholas Christopher Young. Irene Alyssa Wilson. Alicia Kaylin Everett, magna cum laude. Catherine Grace Thompson, cum laude. Ted Michael Hintz. Seth Howard Walsh Hodsu. Daniel Marie Jackson. Quinn Stewart Martindale George. Kalina McFadden. Colin Francis McMaster. Matthew Joseph Menduti. Naomi Grace Nananova Nanka. Ariana Visharak. Scott Gregory Murrow. Patrick Gordon Davenport, magna cum laude. Antoinette Joyce Prater. Britt William Foster. Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Peter Kwang Ying Shiktal. Jordan R. Zinsley. Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, led by Distinguished Senior Samuel Miguel Gary, cum laude. Sophia Abul Suad. Shelby Ray Omling. Katie Lee Beach. Natasha Deline Biga. Alexander Robert Behrens, summa cum laude. Kyle Michael Benson. Frederick August Bjorn. Musaid Abdulrahman Arayes. Mashare Khalid Al-Haraji. Hisham Daniel A. Al-Dayel. Sayud Abdullah Al-Ajaji. Dina Jasmine McCune. Juran B. Brevik. Carl Magnus Boassen, cum laude. Alyssa Margaret Brown. Cara Lynn Brown. Michael Coppeter. Billy Chapman. Irene Alicia Bischofberger. Joni A. Beer, cum laude. Kiana Shadeen Cedar. Skylar Marie Colby, cum laude. Trevor Waynesboro Phillip. Charles Kimball Carruthers. Jack Youngblood Allen. Dylan Richard Brooks. Emily Lauren Burdett. Paige Marie Coles. Callie Nicole Davis, cum laude. Nicole Danielle Coleman. Natalie Francine Casey, cum laude. Brooke F. Burdick. Amy Lauren Wright, magna cum laude. Ryan Robert Erickson. Jack Morgan Eby. Carrie Joanna Winkler, magna cum laude. Dominic Paul Servey, cum laude. Sean Soe. Juhan Dai. Andrew Cameron Gilbert. Mason Maxwell Bieran. Brandon Edward Clark. Michael Thomas DeGrandis Jr., cum laude. Miera Elizabeth Stack. Sarah Elizabeth Foote. Spencer Stephen Brown. Samuel Beatty. Mongxing Chow. Nathaniel Lithicum Perry. Miranda Groh. Michael Patrick Cunningham, cum laude. Jillian Marie Elizabeth Rennenapp. Allison T. Pruill. Nicole Lee Bracken. Samantha Brooks Berger, magna cum laude. Evan Patrick Brunick. Nicholas James Covert. Lauren Nicole Conrad. Margot Chalk, cum laude. Devin Suzette Delaney, cum laude. Tron Wen Bao Duc. Randall Eric Adamson, magna cum laude. Garrett W. Holst. Carson Noel Cannon. Connor Hawkins Pagnani. Aiden James Kelly Scott. Alexandra R. Peretti. Ryan William LaPlante. Oliver Killian Brown, cum laude. Matthew McCoy Dawes. Daniel Whipple Doremus. Matthew Raynard Tabrum. Wesley Brian Berg. Sean Joseph Canizaro, cum laude. Michael Strong Riss. Zachary Allen LaRaza. Jordan Johnston. Mackenzie Nicole Sedlak, summa cum laude. Larkin Patrick Jacobson, cum laude. Josiah David Didier. Samantha Elise David. Emma Danielle Calderon. Tyler W. Duman. Olivia Marguerite Broud. Summer Coulson Van Brunt, cum laude. Chloe Noel Gerhardt. Michelle Eva Garpenlov. Molly Faye Duran. Shannon Michelle Henry. Hannah Corinne Ogden, cum laude. Teray James Escabel. Zachary Evan Edelman, cum laude. Alex Tyler Factor. Dakota Robert Chastain, cum laude. Elliot Alexander Ferris. Melanie Lee Greneman. Megan Connell Welch, magna cum laude. Darcy Lynn Delara. Alyssa Lynn Phillips, cum laude. Claire Frances Cohen Schiff, cum laude. Margaret Grant Rogow. Jillian Tara Alexandra Vej, cum laude. Jesse Randolph Ellison. Samuel Decker Herndon. Jonathan Clay Richards. Maxwell George McCormick. Alexander Michael Denipoulos. Emma Breen Forschler. Emily P. Flom. Kathleen Virginia Lefevre. Keenan Holbrook Grady. Benjamin James Fry, J. Daniel Gervins, Victor Doka, Joshua Rye Graham, cum laude, Maxwell Harrison Galeischer, Scott Douglas Graham, Katrina Nicole Georgiou, magna cum laude, Adrian Alexander Frank, Kelly Suzako Nagai, Mercedes Ann Priebe, Catherine Jiyoung Han, Michael James Griffin, Samuel J. Beebe, Ryan Michael Huning, Carly Nicole Glotman, Emily Elizabeth Hiller, magna cum laude, Catherine Ruth Milusi, Ali Kid Kerr, cum laude, Charles Addison Callahan, Campbell Kelly Clary, cum laude, Christopher Clark Gang, Chris Del Bene, Graham Ryan Ward, Carter Kesterton Jenner, Jewei Gong, Yishan Gao, Yupeng Gao, Natalie Sishowitz, Patrick Lewis Eckrich, magna cum laude, Sarah Elizabeth Heerman, Christopher Scott Hoffman, Allison Toby Haberman, Amy Marissa Haberman, cum laude, Ryan Cromie Hay, Rachel Mackenzie Hartmeyer, Dalton Cole Handy, cum laude, Sheldon Howe, Brandy Nicole Haupt, Brian Christopher Hoyt, Taylor Jeffrey Hunter, cum laude, Heyun Hu, Monji Hu, Eric Sterling Husted, Allison Marie Ayupa, JCW Jackson, David Allen James, Tyler John P. Jacinto, Austin Kelly, Stephen Newman, Constantine Christopher Johns, Robin Ah Kim, Thomas Jennison Keogh, Joshua Philip Kushner, cum laude, Jimmy Shane Latora, Shelby Christine Lee, Garrett Wade Lee, cum laude, Celeste Lee, Taylor James Levers, Bowen Lee, Juhong Lee, Jason Allen Lightman, Connor Patrick Leva, Lane Russell Hopkins, Jacob Allen Logan, Brett Michael Olson, Epson Linsdahl, UC Liu, Emma Rose McKay, cum laude. Miranda Ann Martin. Julian Marie Korich. Douglas Moylan Mark. Marissa Catherine Mercer. Megan Bryn Newman, summa cum laude. Trey M. Thompson. Ross Connor Pelton. Michael Joseph Iofredo. Jack William Jensen. Simnit Michael Warsinski. Mark William Roberts. Charles K. Carlisle, cum laude. Joseph Thomas Rusinko. Elliot Beckwin Nygaard. Benjamin Lee List, cum laude. Brett Charles Peters. James R. Flanagan. Paris Norris. Rebecca Noel Moon. Mackenzie John Ryan Nelson. Sida Nu. Nicholas Pierce Nagy. Michael Jeffrey Mullen. Jordan Robert Miller. Kendra Christine Michaels. Han Trong Nguyen. Christian Thorndal Nielsen. Genevieve Rose Peak. Michael Andrew Nabhan. Richard R. Plaisance, Jr. Danielle Lee Guillette. Dava Lynn McClelland. Letitia Reitman Scott. Hunter R. Rich, Jr. James Christopher Papas. Peter Leyland Schroeder. Cody Ray Shire. Paul Bowman. Michael Richard Winecoop. John Sheehan. Michael George Legg. Kyle Damian Sundman. Oh no. Okay. Dustin J. Perlmutter. Hannah Perlmutter. Jesse Russell Reyes Diaz. Lauren Elizabeth Rayner. Megan A. Sauls. Nicole Marie Sardo. Ayea Paudo. Jonathan Eduardo Piedesantra. Min Kui. Don't. Xiaoxin Ren. Matthew Adam Peterson, cum laude. Shi Yao Pan. Cyrus Robert Perro, cum laude. Brent Douglas Phillip. Alex Thomas Anjopoulou, cum laude. Rebecca Lynn Bauman. Shay Elizabeth Moen. Karen T. Yamasaki. Natalie Michelle Wren, cum laude. Emily Marie Proctor. Charles R. Michaelis. Patrick R. Smorrell, magna cum laude. Thomas Lynch Wentling III. Elizabeth Schaefer. Georgina Marquillo. Sam Blinderman. Daniel D. Carrig, summa cum laude. Lania Elise Pearson. Corinne Marie Tallon, summa cum laude. Henry Gerald Segreen. Morgan Lee Van Riper. Celia Elise Smith. Haley Aaron Smith. Morgan Elizabeth Thomas. Riley Catherine Moore. Anna Claire Headland. Madeline Julia Wogstead. Brittany Crystal Ryan. Haley Lynn Zukowski. Jen Lee, cum laude. Addis Hiwat Sise. Crystal Moreo. Nicholas Brian Summers. Nicole Elizabeth Luchow. Gina Nicole Hine. Claire Michelle Lieberman. Elise Lauren Lieberman, cum laude. Lindsay Lorraine Stoltz. Brent H. Lockhart, cum laude. Jake William Redland. Sierra Brooke Shell. Shelby Danielle Reel. Peter Kelly Scott. Matthew Thomas Shallcross. Kyle Daniel Svek. Si Shai. Boya Song. Wang Tan. Cesar Antonio Soto. Reyes Alonso Rascon Jr. Christopher W. Song. Don Song. Rio Takegawa. James Cullen Taravella. Jensen Robert Teague, cum laude. Zachary Scott Turzik, cum laude. Catherine Elizabeth Thomas. Michael John Toth. Benjamin B. Trout. Michael George Cholas. Emily Elizabeth Usett. Rachel Sarah Watton. Scott Vezosi, cum laude. Jordan David Vigil, cum laude. Li Hang Wang. Xiaofeng Wang, cum laude. Sabine Whitney. Anna Marion Willis. Jeremiah J. Zelichinsky. William Madison Vendehi. Xiyu Xiao. Xi Zhang. Ron Wang. Xieshi Zhang. Ruoxi Zhao. Onig Zheng. Sheng Zhu. Yang Yang Zhu. Skylar Ray Zickerman, cum laude. Blair Sarah Zimlis. Braden Royce Zoet, magna cum laude. Xinye Zhao. Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Claire Hannah Basel. Mary Sinclair Talmadge, Caitlin Kelly Higgins, Mallory Bennett, Rachel Alex Meek, Shawnee Marie Johnson, Simon Latimer, Michaela Marie Diamond, summa cum laude, Daniel C. Supranut, Connor R. Cushman, Lucas John Zimmerman, Andrew William McClaskey, Kai-Chong Shin, Rachel Marie Furman, Mackenzie Lee Steinert, Adriana Javi, Alicia Lynn Poor, Sonia Ama Crosby Etiope, Gage H. Crisp, Joshua Adam Freerman, Christopher James Flood, Stuart Donald Fraser McIver, Kyle Anton Hauk, Daniel Cord Jennings, summa cum laude, Lele Song, Xiaofei Liao, Roberto Ulysses Galvin, Miyang Li, Shangyu Liu, Beatriz Ariana Vega, Elena Ray Martinez, Chimka Tashikar, Yaji Wang, Yakun Wang, Amy L. Westby, Fei Fei Yan, Wei Yu Yang, Ying Zheng, Catherine Aliaga, Hannah Michelle Baptiste, cum laude, Vanessa Dawn Ellingson, Diana L. Gallegos, Emily Louise Johnson Jones, magna cum laude, Danielle Nicole Jordan, Melena Noelane Kanoa, Raushana Amira Patterson, magna cum laude, Sharia K. Pierce, summa cum laude, Barbara Pena, Kayla Deanne Salmon, summa cum laude, Terry Janine Sidebottom, magna cum laude, Sonia Renee Cisneros, Laura Ann Sporer, cum laude, Diana Marie Valdez, Liesel A. Beckman, Hannah Holloman Miles, cum laude, Amanda Nicole Montoya, Linda J. Sanchez Steinke, cum laude, Crystal Lucille Souza, cum laude, Brenda Tomaseo, Latrice Lynn Wilson, University College Bachelor of Arts, Christina Maria Aguirre, Thomas Beidel, Mark Carl Breuer, Austin William Davidson, cum laude, Jason M. Hamilton, Alistair Joseph Cam, Yevgenia Olegorna Kazantveva, magna cum laude, Shane Patrick Keefe, cum laude, Christopher M. Cole, magna cum laude. Sarah Mitchell Ruby. Rebecca June Shelp. Wendy Letire.
Families, friends, faculty, staff, administrators, trustees, please join me in congratulating the class of 2015. Chancellor Chop will now address the graduates.
Congratulations, class of 2015. Congratulations, our new DU alumni. Addressing a graduating college class, President Woodrow Wilson once said, "You are not here merely to prepare to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you will impoverish yourself if you ever forget that." As I've gotten to know many of you during my first year at DU, I've grown very confident in the ability of DU students to enrich the world. Through informal conversations and meetings with student leaders across campus, athletes, artists, heads of campus organizations, volunteers, just chasing you down in a golf cart, as I am wont to do on the quad, to ask you all sorts of questions, I have reached one major conclusion. DU students are the ones that are going to run our city, our nation, our world in years ahead. And I am comforted by this because I see in you both passion and purpose. If DU has done its job, we have provided the resources to ensure your intellectual and personal growth during your time here. As you begin the next chapter, whether it's in industry, working with nonprofits or government, or pursuing a graduate program, you do so always as alumni of the University of Denver. Selective colleges and universities like DU will open untold opportunities for you. And though you and your families have worked incredibly hard to make this day possible, attending DU is a privilege not afforded everyone. And so with that privilege comes responsibility. Our nation and world look to you for your creativity, your intellect, your critical reasoning, your skills and knowledge, your compassion, and your leadership. You combine a path-breaking spirit with intellect, ethical judgment, and a desire to seek solutions. I ask you, live lives of purpose and passion. Enjoy your success. But on our behalf, on your behalf, on the behalf of the 135,000 alumni, enrich the world. You will make us proud. Congratulations.
At the close of the ceremony, the faculty and administration cordially invite graduates and their families and friends to the university reception outside of the Ritchie Center. Now, will the audience please rise and join Mr. Hewitt in singing of the university's alma mater, the Crimson and the Gold. The lyrics are found in the last page of your program. Following the alma mater, we'll begin the processional, during which we request that you remain seated.
Upon the plains 'neath mountains height, they built our Denver U. With grateful hearts we all delight in a vision old and new. So let us join with those before the future to unfold. We'll glorify forevermore the crimson and the gold. To spread the light of truth they came, those hardy pioneers. Young men and women bore the flame that enlightens through the years. They sought a world unlike the old, those men and women strong. Near crimson hillsides touched with gold, they found this place ere long.
Please be seated.